world, a perfect family, and everybody knows that's not true. That doesn't happen. Um, so she was trying. Okay. So, no one in the house wrote the ransom note. Because I asked her, did you write the ransom note? I asked Jon Benet, and then I realized Jon Benet doesn't know about the ransom note. Because, like, she was a little girl, she was murdered. So they could see some things when they go above their body, but she probably wasn't concentrating on that. But she said no, too. She said no. So I was like, who wrote the ransom note? Did Burke write the ransom note? No. Did Jon Ramsey write the ransom note? And I got a strong no on that one. Okay. So I said, someone that was there. What they showed me in my head was somebody that was at the party or in that house at some point, preferably in Jon Ramsey's office, but I think that the mother had an office as well. Did Patsy? I mean, the house was huge, had so many rooms, so somebody was in either Jon Ramsey's office or Patsy's office, and that's where they knew where the paper was. They got the paper from there. I don't know. Maybe they put gloves on. Okay, but you're going to think that somebody outside the house, because I said somebody outside the house wrote the note, you're going to think that, okay, so somebody broke in and got her from her bed, and Jon Benet Ramsey said no. It was somebody in her house that did it, in her family. Okay. So if it wasn't Patsy, so I kept going back to the note. So I had to ask Patsy, because Patsy was accused of writing it. They did all kinds of like matches up with her handwriting, okay? And she always maintained that she never wrote that and that her handwriting was a little bit different. And now I studied some handwriting of hers and the note, and I could honestly say it wasn't exactly the same. And then, like, some people say, well, what if somebody's tired or in a stressful moment, they could do something this way or that way. It might have been written by a friend of theirs. Okay? It might have been written by a friend of theirs. I don't know. Or maybe another thing I thought of myself was maybe Patsy Ramsey was like bipolar, and when you're in a different mood or state, your whole handwriting could be different. Okay? I've seen that with a lot of kids that I taught, and also myself. Okay? Got a few personalities over here. So I have, sometimes I'm a lefty, so sometimes I go to the left, sometimes I go to the right, whatever. If I'm trying to just, if I'm in some sort of mood where I'm trying to be perfect, I'll go up and down, like as if, the way I was taught. But anyhow, she's saying no, and she's on the other side. So I was like, I couldn't get the answer out of her at first, and then I had to say to her, listen, I'm holding the dowsing rods. It's very awkward. I'm glad I didn't tape it. And I said, you are in heaven, or you are in the galaxy, trying to get closer and closer to your daughter. I said, and you will, but you can't lie in heaven. Okay, you have to tell the truth. I'm not standing in judgment. I'm just trying to find out the truth, because if somebody is here that hurt your daughter, you have to, you should be somebody on an earth realm that's still on the earth. People on the earth are not safe then. Okay, so please tell the truth. I had to say that a few times. And then they started to be more active, the dowsing rods. And so what I got was, she did not write it, okay? But she knew who did write it, okay? And that it was somebody in the house at one point or another, and knew exactly where the paper was. I don't know if they took the paper, wrote it up. And remember when Patsy, after she hung up with the cops, she called all her friends, A whole bunch of her friends came tumbling over. Okay? Did somebody have a note? Did somebody write it then? I don't know. Okay. But she's saying she didn't write it. Her daughter didn't want to answer the question, but the daughter answered, Jon Benet answered, no, my mother did not kill me. My mother did not have any, because I said, did she have anything to do with covering up for your death? Did she, and then one of the questions was, there was 3 different injuries to Jon Benet in the autopsy. One injury was a head. I mean, I don't know everything perfectly, okay? I don't have the paperwork in front of me, okay? I never even looked at it. I just watched information on it. So one of the injuries was the top of a head, so that I thought maybe banging her head against the tile in the bathtub. But she's saying no. Both of them are saying no, that happened a separate time. And you know how you just like bang your head because the kid is like wriggling out of your arms and then they go backwards and just bounce off. So maybe she put ice on it, or maybe she just had a headache. There was no blood or anything. But she's saying that was a whole separate thing, and the reason why they brought it up in my mind is because she's trying to say that she didn't handle her the correct way. She shouldn't have overreacted. But she shows me that at some point she was taking Valium or an antidepressant or Valium to rest or sleep, and at some points, you know, she liked to tip the old elbow. Okay, hey, who doesn't? But she's saying that this was a different event, and then Jon Benet tells me my mother did not have anything to do with my death. She also said Burke did not have anything to do with her death, and she felt badly for Burke. She was like, I know we used to fight and argue, but now he's by himself. She goes, I do try to visit him because sometimes he is lonely and he's lost in the moment of what happened. He's just dealing with it now. She wants him to not be alone. She wants him to be with friends. So I don't know. He could be married with kids. I don't know. I can't. If anybody knows, please put it in the comments. I could not find information on him today besides that he has lawsuits against certain companies saying bad things about him. And I think he's winning, and he has a very good job, and he went to college, and he has a very good job. Working on computers, computer job. And I'm sure he has some of his father's money. Anyhow. So, it hurts my brain. So I was like, so it was somebody on the outside that killed you? And she's like, no, Katrina, in a sad way. But she's saying somebody on the outside of the family wrote that note. Okay. So then, nobody in the house wrote that ransom note. So it was somebody that had access to Patsy's den or Patsy's office or John Ramsey's office, because that's where the paper is. Okay, now this is painful. Just say it. Okay, so Jon Ramsey. When I asked about Jon Ramsey, did he have anything to do that caused your death, or knows about who caused your death? Does he know? And she said yes, in a weak way. Then I ask it again a little bit differently. Did Daddy, she kind of liked me to say Daddy, did Daddy cause your death? She said yes. Then there was like interference, and that usually means the spirit wants to show me something in my head. So I said, could you please show me what you're trying to tell me? And then she showed me in my head, and I wrote down the notes. I was still holding the dowsing rods at the same time, and they were shaking. She said, yes, JR came into my room at night. He came in and I said, did your father used to come in your room at night and maybe do inappropriate things to you that you didn't like? And she said, yes, but a lot of times I'm sleeping and I would wake up and I feel pain down there. And I thought it was a bad dream. And Daddy would say, he's giving me a kiss. And then she said, I'll show you. And she shows me in my head. I see like a room and a bathroom. I don't know if I'm associating it with the movie, but I saw the movie a long time ago. I can't find it now on regular TV. I can't find it. But anyhow, she shows me that nobody else is awake. The mother might have taken a Valium or had a drink and is totally asleep. The brother is in a whole different wing, I believe. And she said, it's nobody but me and him. And she said that Dad did bad things to me and let other men take photos and do something to me. But I would be sleepy and I would wake up. The candy that they gave me made me sleepy always. I shouldn't have taken it. But I thought it was regular candy. And then I would wake up and it would hurt. And then I asked a painful question. And I asked it over and over again because I couldn't believe the answer. Then I had to have a talk. I said, did your mom know? Did your mom know? And she didn't answer me. Then I said, did Patsy know that this was happening? Because first I asked, did your mother ever put you in situations where she let other men go to you, take pictures of you or do something so that you can win in all these things that she was in, and she said, no, not my mother. She said, I did take pictures, but it was Daddy's friends. So then I asked, did Patsy Ramsey know? Okay. And then Patsy Ramsey shows me herself crying. Her face is red. She's remorseful. So I asked her, I said, Patsy, if you want to talk to me through my mind and tell me why you would let something happen to your baby girl. And she said, Katrina, I did not know that way. She goes, but I was like in a daze, and he would tell me that these people were just meeting with her because she was going to get some kind of like contract, or they would just take pictures for her portfolio, to make a portfolio for when she gets older, and that it was a good deal. It would be just like a quick meeting. She'd be back later on, after like 2 hours, and everything will be fine. And that's why Jon Benet was always cranky. A lot of times she was cranky, kicking and screaming when she had to get all dressed up with the makeup and stuff, because she was tired. She was tired. Things were happening to her. Okay? So Patsy's saying that she knew he was bringing her some places, but thought it was just for these alleged contracts. But she said, I should have looked into that. She goes, I was wrapped up with, thinking about money, making money, and the next step for everything. But Patsy never touched her inappropriately. Patsy never pimped her daughter out for anything. She loved her daughter very much, and she wasn't, a sick person. What she was doing is trying to not be, she just lost her child. So she couldn't, like, I said to her in my mind, like, why wouldn't you divorce him if you thought that he had anything to do with hurting your child? And she said, I could never think that way, Katrina. I could never think. She goes, I was dying of cancer on and off. I had Burke to raise. And she goes, I could never think that my daughter was taken away and it was the person right next to me. She goes, I just couldn't think that way. My mind would not let me think that way. And I wish that I would have protected her and her brother. So, okay. So I asked Archangel Michael to protect every little child on earth that might be going through something like that now, and also her brother. Even though he's a grown man, I still want Archangel Michael and all the angels to protect him and to fill his heart with love and acceptance, and to keep him away from his father. This is what I got. Okay, so Dad did bad things to me and let other men take photos, but I would be sleepy after the candy they gave me and I woke up hurt. One time I feel she was coming home and she was really agitated and like aggravated. Whatever they gave her put her in a twilight state. And Patsy says, what's wrong with her? You know, like, what happened? Because she doesn't seem to want to ever go with you anymore to these meetings. And he just said, oh, she needs to sleep. Just let her go to sleep. And Patsy was like, no, but it's dinner time. She hasn't eaten probably any lunch, and now it's past dinner time. You know, she needs to eat. And he was like, no, she just needs to sleep. So a lot of times she did go to the bathroom because she was sexually abused in her bed. She did go to the bathroom, and she had a lot of urinary tract infections. Okay, so I don't know why the doctor didn't pick up on that. Probably because they're so rich. They probably went to a doctor that was a friend of the family. Anyhow, Patsy's sorry for not protecting her. And that's what she's working on in heaven. And she does see Jon Benet. They all working through it. Like they're showing me right now, hugging. She's like her mother's down here, and she's hugging her because Jon Benet's tall. She's like, it's okay, Mom. It's okay. They have the same eyes. Same exact eyes. It's like God put the same. Yeah. Oh, I see. Okay, so she's teaching. She's a healer. Jon Benet is a healer. But she wanted to be a doctor. Anything in the because she said, you know, like taking pictures, that's like 1% fun. But helping somebody, healing somebody, helping somebody medically, even like psychologically, she said that's like 98% of what she wanted to do. And she said she liked to do art, but she wasn't encouraged to do much art. She was in school and she was doing art, and the teacher was like, oh, that's really great, you know, but she didn't want the pressure on her, but she just wanted to be regular kid. Anyhow, okay, I'm just gonna wish them well. Okay, I'm gonna ask Archangel Michael to take the pain away from me and the visions away from me, and just send out healing energy for everybody involved, and clink clink for whoever's involved with the murder. Okay, another thing I have to mention is because there was a problem with the DNA that Jon Benet, they said, was sexually abused, right? She was hit in the head twice, I believe, cracked skull. Then a thing around the neck, and they feel that's how she actually died, the thing around the neck. She was also sexually abused. Then they found out there was no DNA on her, but that her vagina, this is painful to say, her vagina was the size of an adult woman. Now, she was a 6-year-old girl. So what does that mean to you? That means to me that she was being sexually abused for a long time, maybe from age 3 to 6, or even 2 to 6. It means that she was definitely violated. But they found out years later that, even Patsy says it on one of the interviews, that whatever material was on her underwear was not semen. So she was sexually abused before that point, before she was murdered. The way she was murdered was hit in the head twice and then the rope around her neck. So, was somebody trying to cover up that they sexually abused her all those years? But not the night before, not that night, not Christmas Eve. Okay, so I don't know. I'm just going to ask all the angels and all the archangels to protect me and to protect everybody out there that is plagued with either abuse or some kind of violence, or just even has the visions like psychics out there. Just protection. Thank you. Thank you, dear God. All right. Sorry it was such a serious video, but that's what I got. Namaste, everybody.